Well, a hearty ho 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 to you. Welcome to this edition of We Need a Little Christmas. Today we're going to explore a hot beverage we often associate with Christmas. It's not hot chocolate or a hot toddy either. It's eggnog. Now, I personally am not a fan, but it is a favorite Christmas treat. Eggnog involves blending eggs, sugar, milk, cream, and sometimes alcohol into a sweet custard-like stew. Now, if you're concerned about raw egg consumption, it's easy to use pasteurized eggs from the supermarket or effectively pasteurize your own eggs. Of course, you want to make sure you follow the FDA's advice on how to do that safely. Well, whether you make your own eggnog, buy it in the store, here are a few things to know about this favorite Christmas beverage. It dates back to medieval times. While the exact origin of the drink is unknown, most culinary historians believe eggnog originated from a drink called posset, a hot, milky ale drink enjoyed by the British in early medieval times. Time reports in the 13th century, monks were known to drink a posset with eggs and figs, while the Elizabethans made their own version with spices, milk, eggs, and fortified wine. It was served thick, hot, and reportedly somewhat chunky per food and wine, which manages to make the drink sound far less appealing. Its name comes from actually a cup. Food historian, Babson College professor, and author of Hog and Hominy, Soul Food from Africa to America, Frederick Opie, tells us colonists referred to rum as grog, bartenders served rum in small wooden carved mugs called noggins, thus the drink eventually became egg and grog, and over time, eggnog. Now, eggnog was a favorite in the American colonies. It's believed that British colonists brought the drink over from England to the US. It was reportedly quite popular with colonists who added rum to the milky egg mixture because whiskey and cognac and other spirits had very high taxes levied on them. Did you know George Washington had his own recipe? Yep, the first president of the United States was such a fan of eggnog that he even penned his own recipe according to the Old Farmer's Almanac. While modern mixologists may want to whip up a batch of the Founding Fathers' favorite drink, there's one small problem. Washington didn't record the exact number of eggs to use. So cooks in his era estimated a dozen would do, according to Time, revealing an alcohol-heavy recipe that involved cream, milk, sugar, brandy, rye whiskey, rum, and sherry. Dwight D. Eisenhower was also a fan. By the time he left office, Dwight Eisenhower had concocted a hearty collection of recipes chronicled in his post-presidential papers, the National Journal reports. In the collection was a favorite eggnog recipe that included 1 dozen egg yolks, 1 pound of granulated sugar, 1 quart of bourbon, 1 quart of coffee cream, half and half, and 1 quart of whipping cream. Wow. There is a National Eggnog Month and Eggnog Day. Fittingly, December is National Eggnog Month, while National Eggnog Day falls on Christmas Eve. People drink a lot of eggnog. The Huffington Post reports that more than 135 million pounds of eggnog are consumed each year. It caused a riot. It was Christmas at the United States Military Academy in West Point, New York, when cadets rioted thanks in part to eggnog. In the cold winter of 1826, some enterprising cadets smuggled whiskey into the barricades where it was used to spike the communal eggnog. As can happen with whiskey, a few glasses in and tensions mounted. Fights broke out and soon windows were broken, guns were fired, and a lieutenant was knocked out cold. According to Smithsonian Magazine, in the end, 20 cadets were court-martialed in what became known as the Eggnog Riot. Interesting footnote, Jefferson Davis, the future president of the Confederate States, was one of the rioters. And lastly, it's a very Southern drink. According to culinary historian Andrew Smith, in the early days of the United States in the North, at a time when celebrations were frowned upon, eggnog was considered a sign of unchristian-like decadence. In the South, though, eggnog was a staple of both Christmas and New Year's celebrations. Some people in the North consumed it, Smith told Bravo TV, but historically, it's a Southern drink. So, there's some info for your noggin about eggnog. I hope it was a tasty treat for you. Merry Christmas to you today and every day.